What's up, everybody? Welcome back.
I might swerve in the corner. Whoa. Ah, pussy.
Everybody is on that.
I might swerve in the corner. Whoa.
All day bets. Alex Jacobs, Manny, Ruffin. This is crazy. We got so much to talk about today. I was thinking about all the guys that are playing the new ball song, the new Leangelo ball song.
Shout out, bro.
St. Brown was dancing to it last night after the big win for the Detroit Lions. Go Lions, good for them. I will start.
Let's just start there. Why not?
We could start there. Sam Darnold, thank you for showing us who you truly are and what your team truly is. The frauds that we thought you were.
No.
I won't give my official game prediction yet. We'll get into that later, but this just proved my point, and I was saying it too. This feels like 2017 all over again for the Minnesota Vikings. They're just going to get all this hype. Oh, wait till you play the Vikings. Wait till you play this roster. I understand different teams. Don't even try to create that narrative. It's just the fact that there's so much hype on this team. And what did they say? Chris Collinsworth stated it best at the beginning of the game. Sam Darnold has passed every test until this point. How will he get to the next stage? Can he get to the next level? This is the game to do it. And he did it. Missing throws when he doesn't have, a
Missing
5-course high.
too,
And they said that's his miss, which I didn't know.
Every time.
But
the Hawkinson 3rd and long where he had a missed high.
That was going to be probably a 35-yard game
Justin
right there.
Justin Jefferson in the back of the end zone missed
6
high.
times.
Double move in the end zone missed high. Yeah, bro.
And they said, look, when he doesn't have the amount of time to cook a 5-course meal in the pocket, that's when he gets out of his game. And I saw a lot of conversations as well, just talking about that the Vikings didn't play their game. They played the Lions game, and that didn't really work. Imagine just early on if instead of going for it on 4th, both times inside the 5 or 6 yard line, they just took their points there.
But you're playing the Lions.
Absolutely.
And Dan Campbell.
But if you miss it the first time, do we go for it again or risk it? You just gotta.
I think I kind of agree with them keeping it going. Because off the analytics too, you usually get about 50. Like decent teams will get about 50% of their 4th downs. So if we miss once, bro, we gotta
try again.
If we miss twice, I think one big part of that game, Alex Anzalone being back. You could tell he quarterbacked the fuck out that defense. And then second, bro, Meek Robinson on Justin Jefferson. That was a game changer. There's a couple times where Justin won and Sam had missed him, but the fact that he made it so tough every single time made that game tough. The thing that that stood out to me was we was waiting to see how both those teams, Lions and the Vikings, were going to act when there was they've played big games this year. But I mean big games, something on the line, playoff-esque. If this is the theme I'm going to see from Sam Darnold, I'm a little worried. That's my guy, too. I thought he was built for this. But we're going to watch for the playoffs a little more. It was a little scary from the Vikings Nation, though. You know what I mean? Shout out to Van Ginkel, though. Had himself a nice game. Big hit. Byron Murphy had a little cool game. But overall, bro, Jahmyr Gibbs, I told y'all about when Dave Montgomery went down 5-6 weeks ago, that he was about to go on a fucking tear. And, that guy's different.
I just like the quote that he said. Talk about Jalen Hurts. I wanted to find this quote so I say it correctly. Jalen Hurts quotes. This was one of those that stood out. They tried to bury me, dog, but you can't bury what comes from the dirt.
Sheesh.
Hey, yo.
Sheesh.
Talk your shit, young fella.
Nah, Meek was snapping, bro. That was some of the best cornerback reps I've seen, especially just first who he was playing. Every single rep was almost flawless, bro. Shout out to Meek, bro.
Yeah, that was an unreal game. I had Lions money line.
Bro, I usually watch the games in my room, on my computer. Bro, there's a couple games a year that I'll go downstairs, make sure I watch on the big screen. I made dinner, sat on the big screen, had me a little drink. I was so hyped for that game, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, it was
the fuck, bro?
That was one of those games. Think about it from a betting perspective.
I waited all day for that game.
They hyped it up.
Oh, my God.
The over was high.
Yes.
I can just assume everyone was like, well, in the last 2 weeks, everybody in the Lions has scored. Laporta, St. Brown, Williams, Gibbs. Everyone's getting in the end zone. So essentially, I'm assuming everybody was on that same wavelength, just clicking at anybody, anytime touchdown, clicking. Click everybody on the list, and then maybe take the over, maybe do Goff passing yards, all this, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, receiving yards, all this. Nothing. It was just 4 touchdowns from Gibbs. and a field goal, and then 3 field goals from the Vikings. That is one of those games where, like, I hate saying this shit, but like it feels like maybe the books just knew everybody was gonna go over, and it's
Probably.
like, oh, here's the under game.
Probably.
We all like
pool.
They had to know that everybody was gonna be on the over.
Yeah.
And just like, and
And
that's one of those things.
I think if Sandarno makes a couple throws, we see it better on some of them 4th downs. I think it was in the books, man. Sammy D let us down a couple big spots. Question: we got vindicated today. Dable's still there.
Yes.
Sherwin's still there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
I saw some reports too. Mike Garafolo, I believe his name is, doing some reports and saying that he's not calling for this, but he believes that the next step is that it's going to be a playoff mandate, meaning that, hey, this is your last chance.
Damn,
if you guys miss the playoffs, then you guys are done. And think about that. They were comparing this to 2016 when there was a huge spending spree in the offseason to try and make the playoffs, and then everybody's fired, and Joe and Dable get left with this dumpster fire that got them and left them.
Yeah, I think we
so
got
now essentially, are you saying that they're going to go spending spree, miss the playoffs again in this actually statistically the hardest schedule of the NFL season next year is the New York Giants? And if they miss the playoffs again, then you're leaving another dumpster fire again for a whole new crew to come in and front office staff to come in and deal with. I just don't understand. I think now that I can almost confidently say I won't see any product from this Giants football team that's going to be enjoyable to watch in the next 5 years. And I hate to say that with neighbors coming in and what this draft is going to be. We can almost assume now that the Titans are probably taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, well, the Giants are going to get Travis Hunter. Would that be good for the hype? Because I love Travis Hunter. Absolutely. But, like, not for the team.
I wonder what the possibilities are if you guys could trade up one with Cleveland. Say Cleveland, hey, you guys can take Trav. Maybe we can move up one if Cam is still there or Shador is still there. That's kind of what my thought process was. I think we got to get out this. I hope they don't do that playoff mandate. Because we saw it happen with Gerard Mayo.
Yeah, that was crazy. And Gronk was about to tee off on
Bill
Kraft.
Belichick. I'm like 90% sure the greatest head coach of all time won like 3-4 games with that team before he did. Didn't they go 4-13?
Gronk said on the Fox pregame, halftime, postgame show with Jimmy Johnson that his first season he won like
Jimmy Johnson's first season was 1-15.
Yeah, 1-15.
And he won multiple championships. We have to get out of this microwave, especially with new young teams. I think the Patriots could have been better, but we discovered we have a great young quarterback piece. I think the players, now there's a guy I follow on Twitter that he's a writer for SI. He said he's a D1 college football player. Said he has a lot of friends in the Pats locker room. Says a lot of those guys did like Mayo. Now it wasn't 100% split, obviously. Not any locker rooms like that. But he was like a lot of guys liked Mayo. I don't know, man. The only firing I kind of agree with, which I don't even really agree with, is I can understand firing Doug Peterson. But we fired Doug Peterson, then we keep the fucking GM that put us in this mess.
John Mara said today that when he was asked about tanking, said as long as he's on this side of the sideline on this grass, that will not be the case. And that wasn't the case. Okay.
Well, let's just fuck ourselves.
But you were continuing to bitch about the product that's on the field, yet you won the Colts game that hurt your draft pick for this year's draft. So if you're not going to tank but then bitch about the product, doesn't that like just completely offset your point? Like
kind of, but like players don't tank though. He could be tanking, but you know my theory on that.
Don't say that you're not going to tank, but then you just bitch about the product on the field, and then you're hurting your draft stock by winning a meaningless game.
Yeah.
And then saying that you were competing to win against the Eagles yesterday against the Eagles backups, that doesn't help either. Mm-hmm. Because if you win that game, then you're 8, 9, or 10, and you miss out on. Thankfully, the Patriots got the job done, or else the Giants would have been 4. Mm-hmm. And then there's absolutely, probably. I mean, yeah, Patriots probably taking Travis Hunter then. But still, you're in the same boat. If Titans take quarterback, Browns taking quarterback, you're missing on both the top 2 quarterbacks. Fine. I have never talked down on my team, me and the New York Giants, this much
it's gotta be rough
than this season.
It's gotta be rough, bro.
I like Malik Neighbors is the only exciting piece.
Yeah.
108 receptions this year with Tim Boyle, Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, and
Broke
Tommy
the record,
DeVito.
right? Rookie record. That a boy.
Like, that's exciting. 1,200 yards. 7 touchdowns. You missed 2 games as well. Maybe just a consistent quarterback. And look, whoever they take, it's not going to be Bo Nix story. It's not going to be. They're not going to turn around like the Broncos did.
I understand the Dougie P shit because he's had T-Law. Other people don't like T-Law, but I think T-Law is good, bro. I really think there's going to be like a year or two. T-Law's going to be running the team. Like, oh shit, I forgot this motherfucker was doing that shit at Clemson. We seen what happened when the Commanders got a quarterback that could change the culture. I don't think the Giants have not had that. Closest thing they had was a running back, and they made the playoffs with Saquon. I like Dable, bro.
I like Dable too.
I like Dable, bro.
He just been put in tough situations with rosters.
Awful situations. Bro.
And then next year, you're getting the NFC North and the AFC West.
Oh shit!
They're cooked, dude.
And
They're
the Chargers
cooked.
are gonna be better. The Broncos are gonna be better.
Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears.
Yeah.
The only
Bears
three.
Better.
The only 3 that are different outside of those and then the divisional matchups are the Raiders, the Saints, and there's one more, and the Patriots. Raiders, Saints, and Patriots are the only other 3 that aren't, NFC North.
You have the AFC East too? Or that was just one game? I was about to say, you have the AFC East too. Fuck me, bro. Pouring out for the Giants, bro.
So I just hope that this is not
700 days for y'all.
I just hope this in the end. I'm going to be super excited come draft time because just to see. But like I was so excited this year with Neighbors and nothing. And Daniel Jones is gone and he completely failed. And they were showing him on the broadcast yesterday with that Lions game. Showing J.J. McCarthy.
He looked like he's got to hit the rate. I know he's been hurt. You could tell he's been hurt. That boy looks skinny. I'm not even hating. I like JJ. I'm just saying. You could tell he was hurt all year. I felt bad. You could see he
was growing out the hair a little bit too.
Yeah, well, you could tell he been in the crib all year, man. Hopefully he gets moving around and shit. You know what I mean?
Let's take it to a wild lawsuit that broke late during the Sunday night game between the Lions and the Vikings.
Great timing on the story to break, by the way, because the game got bad and the story came out.
And everyone's just all over the internet trying to make their comments on Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, and Fox Sports with Charlie Dixon as well, with some of the statistics from Miss Notion Faraji. She was a former hairstylist for just about 10 years with Fox Sports, and
it's always the low-key motherfucker, man.
42-page lawsuit. Skip Bayless is involved in that lawsuit. Allegedly offered her $1.5 million for sex.
Yeah, Skip. Now people try. I think Skip was trying to do. I'm not supporting it, but people clowning Skip because y'all was like y'all trying to pay $1.5 million in the last 2 minutes. Chill on my guy Skip. What if he was trying to get rid of Supermax? What if it was 3 year 1.5? You come to the Christmas party with me and shit. You know what I'm saying? He wrong for that. But y'all wrong for thinking my boy Skip was only doing it for a one-time, one-off thing. That's $1.5 million. That boy had big plans. Word of Drake.
Joy's also accused in that lawsuit of
she crazy,
allegedly
she crazy, bro.
Sleeping with the executive vice president, Charlie Dixon.
Mr. Dixon.
And Emmanuel Acho to advance her career, allegedly. And then the only, I guess, good outcome from this lawsuit was Colin Cowherd himself.
No words involved. No Nick Wright.
Cleared of wrongdoing. Said he was nice and respectful to her and her team throughout her tenure there.
Absolutely.
Colin Cowherd sitting there with a nice cigar.
Absolutely.
Saying,
I go home to the wife and kids.
I'm a good man.
I do my job at work. I go home to the wife and kids.
And I hate to say this shit, but there's now clips surfacing of Joy Taylor saying she worked so hard to get here, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
From this lawsuit, allegedly accusing her of that not being the case.
Absolutely.
I feel like now this shines a awful light towards the women of sports media.
Yeah. People, you were around circles and shit. People would joke about that anyway. Like, oh, who's fucking her, whatever. Like, but like it was like not taken serious, but it's just something that was like out there. Like now after this story, that joke isn't as much of a, like to me it's still a joke, but to some people it won't be as much of a joke, like, which does kind of suck. And like I'm not gonna say she let me down, but like there's like a way you gotta word this, but like you kind of like understand that could happen in companies. You know what I mean? But when you read in the article when she says that the lady Fallujah was telling her like, you gotta slow down, when Acho gets involved and she's like, don't worry or something, I have more power now, I'm just gonna say he forced himself on me. That's where I had a big problem. It was really, I was laughing. It was all like not all cool, but it was all fun and games. Make fun of Skip, make fun of Acho, make fun of Joy, how the old podcast come out. Then you see where she goes, yeah, but I was gonna hit him with a sexual assault charge if I got caught.
She said,
"Whoa!"
The lawsuit says in the writing, it said, like, essentially paraphrasing, but it said in the lawsuit that her quote was, "Once I don't need him anymore,
whoa,
I would just, instead of like kind of essentially using him,
put the motherfucker under the jail.
I would
put him under the
say
jail.
that he forced himself onto me."
Absolutely.
It's such a touchy thing to say. Again, all of this is alleged.
Bro, it's nasty.
Like, that is crazy.
I want to get on Acho ass because Acho, bro. What's up with you, dog? First and foremost, I know a lot. I know almost a handful of dudes right now who is like about to get married. I consider them married. Just me joking around. You was posting that shorty more than they was. They post they wives. And I'm on board with my man's posting their wives. You don't be posting your wife that much. That's your coworker. He's dropping like
birthday shout outs.
Like compilations. Bro, he did the one joint when they was about to go live and she was fixing her hair and shit. That's what you do. You in the hotel room with your shorty. She putting the dress on. You like, yeah, look at my bitch. He was doing that with his coworker, bro. Before, and the one joint when he was like, he was in the car and he deleted it. Like, bro, you left a wild paper trail. Acho, what the fuck? Like, you
that
was a
video,
bro. You were a football player in the NFL. Like, this not your first rodeo. Why are we still posting women this much, bro? You incriminated yourself. You was gonna be in that article anyway. But we could just go to Twitter and see how much you was loving that shorty, bro. What's up with you, Acho? Bro, I really want to know what happens with him out of this. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna be FS1 and all that, but like, he has a big Twitter presence. He's always posting big engagement bait shit.
He was on the show today.
He was on the show today?
He was on the show today.
How was his demeanor? How did he look up there?
He opened the
business
show.
As usual?
He opened the show, business as usual, saying that, talking about the playoff picture, and then sits down, and I forget, it might have been James Jones that said it. I don't know if they were directing the comment to him, but after he says, like, NFC and AFC playoffs are set, and he reads out the matchup, and then he walks to the desk to where Shady's sitting and Jones and all them are sitting. And he sits down, and I don't know if James was directing this towards him, but he's just like, I can't believe you're here today. I'll have to show you the clip once we get done. But to the video of Acho in the car, he was essentially backing Joy Taylor for her work and how she got here to essentially get her onto another show.
While he was getting his shit sucked off.
Absolutely. Once Undisputed was done, I think they're allegedly saying that through some sexual acts between the two, that helped Acho to then back Joy to get her another position.
They had the picture of Joy was on the couch with the wine glass, dress on. Acho had leisure clothing on with the blanket over the... I'm like, this is a bad... I don't think he had socks on. I'm like, this is a bad joint.
I saw some one video on Twitter that she was in studio. He's like, looks like he's just walking in. And she's like wearing his like Adidas slides or something.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's not Acho, bro. Like, we gotta be posting the shorties less, man. Take this as a lesson. Everyone takes. Even if it is your wife, throw your wife up there, bro. That's your wife, whatever. You fucking a coworker, bro. You posting her? Like, you thought that was gonna keep you low, bro? If you even look at the replies from the post from like 2 years ago. There was one where it was the one where she was fixing her hair and shit. Bro, there was literally like the first two comments from 2023 was like, harassment case coming. Like, someone was like, oh, they fucking. And like, you can see people like replying under that was like, oh, she's like with the Shaq joint. I was like, oh, shit. Like, bro, you gotta keep it low, Acho. I hope y'all don't get burned too much. You probably are. But fuck, though.
Part of the beginning.
Actually, how much can happen to the to the guy in the situation. I have no idea. I'm just saying. Like, is this like I would think this is grounds for Acho being let go, but like, is it actually?
It could be just because of how large the magnitude of this case is, because there is
and
many
it was a clear sexual advancement too, which is
absolutely, and a lot of
because Skip had said he didn't want her on Undisputed,
right?
And then obviously
Charlie Dixon asked, allegedly is what it said in
Mr. Dixon, funny as shit.
Lawsuit says that Charlie Dixon told Skip as of, do me a favor type of thing by having Joy in, and that's why there was already some advancements. Miss Faragee was saying in the lawsuit as well that they would go out to lunch, her and Joy Taylor, and Charlie Dixon would be there, and then they would leave together. Then she noticed that Joy Taylor was married at the time, and so was Charlie Dixon.
What are we doing?
She didn't ask any questions.
Bro, when I read they did a double date, basically.
Yep.
And outed themselves on a double date. Yo.
Her fiance had cut off the engagement at that point.
Any personal female prospects watching this, I'm not saying I would do this to you. We got to be able to chill out at the dinner with my wife, bro. And then she said they were pulling up together. He would pull up, buy her drinks, and then leave. And it's someone that works in your office there. Like, Buddy thought he was untouchable. We can't, it's called a sneaky link.
There is literally
Acho, Mr. Dixon. It's called a sneaky link. We was on Broadway with it. That shit is blowing my mind.
There is literally a show on Apple TV called The Morning Show that outlines almost everything that is happening to Fox Sports right now.
Jesus.
Sexual harassment in big time news outlets and news networks.
So funny,
it is the same fucking thing.
It's funny because I'm not trying I'm being sensitive here, guys. It's just a joke. Could you even say this is sexual harassment?
Well, Charlie Dixon was.
I'm saying though, she seemed like she was with it. Oh.
But except for there is part of the lawsuit that says that Miss Faragee put in there saying that there was points that Charlie Dixon had grabbed her.
Oh yeah, he was wild. Yeah, he was wild.
Like there's some of the sexual harassment there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Skip Bayless was
yeah.
advancing heavily before he even offered the money for that.
Skip crazy too. He said, "Ain't you Muslim?" Come on,
That's
Skip.
Crazy.
Skip. You can't be doing that, my brother. You just gotta slide the briefcase with the 1.5 million and just keep your mouth shut. I'm not even saying do that, but
he said he would change your life. That was a quote. Change. In the lawsuit,
come on,
with
homie.
that money.
Come on, homie.
Because she was
and he talk about his wife all the time on the show.
Single mom.
Come on, homie. You know what I'm saying, Skip? Damn, Skip, you could have been out of this joint scot-free. Just go home to take Colin Coward. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think Acho's single. So just be Colin Coward, bro. Skip, bro. Let me down, man.
The next thing to know is how this whole lawsuit and the whole story progresses is if it continues to get worse and more things start to come out,
which they probably will,
what are going to be the other names that aren't even tied to this that are going to be like, I can't be associated with this network from all the other stuff that's coming down? There was some other things in there talking about different producers and some harassment within different things that producers were doing. It just seems like the whole...
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of people that were kind of not involved, but and I seen theories online about people saying that because Shannon's departure from FS1 wasn't really amicable, that he could have. I don't think Shannon's on that.
He's not.
Yeah, I don't think Shannon's on it. I think that narrative is nasty. I don't think he's on it at all. I think what he's gonna keep doing, like he did on the fucking Nightcap show, it's my turn. I was like, yeah, Shannon, shit like that. He probably gonna be being a little petty, but I don't think Shannon let this joint fly. You know what I mean? Because he's doing too well to even be caring about. I'm not in a disrespectful way, but be even caring about Joy Taylor and even caring about Skip still. You know what I'm saying? So I think people throwing around that narrative is nasty. I don't think Shannon on that.
This is just one of the crazier things now because we're out of the regular season of the NFL. So now we're just talking about a few games, and now it's this big story.
You're right.
Where it's not going to be weekly coverage of every single matchup that's on the slate for Sunday. It's much less things to talk about. And then this story comes out during the biggest game of the NFL season. Fox Sports is under an immense amount of fire. Charlie Dixon is most likely terminated
walking into that office today to do your shows was probably just so weird.
I
bro.
would have a pit in my stomach the entire time.
It's just so weird.
I would, if I was Acho in that, I would have said I'm not getting on. I'm not.
imagine the homies that like, bro, because you know Acho like.
I would have been shaking.
I don't know who was there with him, but like I'm just looking at if I was Acho homie and I knew he was with Joy Taylor doing this thing, whatever, and that shit come out and watching the game, I'm like, damn, like it finally came out. Like that office is probably a little shaky right now. Shout out to my guys over there though. Shady did a couple interviews with her. His name not in there. Shout out to Shady. You know what I'm saying? My guy. Kept the business. You feel me? Kept the fucking business.
Shout out to you, Colin Coward.
Kept the fucking business.
That is how we'll close this.
Kept the fucking business.
We will. I'm eager to see some more things come out on this. Again, all of this is alleged until we see some more things.
Facts. Absolutely.
All of this is alleged until we see some more things. And once we do, obviously would like
I really hope that Skip
conversation.
1.5 million was really ends up being alleged, bro, because that's fucking crazy, Skip.
That's
crazy, Skip.
terrible.
That's crazy, Skip. That's crazy.
And he was even trying to allegedly said in there too that he was, before even offering that, was attempting to make some moves before that. It just,
come on, Skip.
Unreal work environment. And again, if you got Apple TV, go watch the morning show. You'll see it in real time in front of your eyes, what it would look like. Again, that's fictional, but you would see what it would look like watching a TV show. The morning show just outlines sexual harassment in big time networks. You'll see it in that show.
Come on, Skip.
Carson Wentz. Do we need to talk about a stylist for that fit getting off the plane? I was fired up about it.
I don't know who styled that Willy Wonka ass fit, bro. We shouldn't. Come on, bro.
Played like Willy Wonka out there yesterday. I know you didn't have a
Especially
line.
at this point in my career, if I'm where C-Dub is at, bro, can we just pull up to the game in some trainers? You don't gotta put the Willy Wonka fit on.
Wear
bro,
like
God.
a Chiefs jumpsuit,
bruh. And you go like I'm third. It's like 3rd and 8. We missing basic out routes. Like C-Dub made us look bad. Or not us, me look bad as a C-Dub agenda guy.
I had over 39.5.
It's fucking disgusting.
38 for the Broncos.
That's
38-0. Carson Wentz takes that sack in the second quarter.
Yeah, his brain's still not working the right way.
10-yard sack. It's now a 50-yard field goal into the wind. Bucker pulls it left. If that goes in, we get the over. Well, I mean, and I also will say on that front, there was some bitching about Week 18 games and Week 18 teams that are sitting their starters in terms of trying to back the Bengals because the Bengals assume that, the Broncos are going to win this game. And look.
Oh, my God. I hate to cut you off. I'm so sorry. What the actual fuck is wrong with Russell Wilson? Thank God the Boz made that kick and we got the cover. You know I was on Steelers. What the actual fuck is wrong with that guy? I forget the exact time left. This motherfucker ran to the right, scrambled, and tried to truck somebody like he was Josh Allen with no time on the clock. And it took a sack. And then we had George Pickens wide open down the sideline and he missed. Russ, bruh. Like, you got, like,
we're going to see the rematch anyway.
42 Doug already don't like you, bruh. Mr. Unlimited, we had some problems. Come on, bruh. Like, that really fucked my week.
At least we get to see a divisional rematch with the Steelers and the Ravens in a divisional rematch for the wildcard weekend. I just think for Bengals, it sucks. You can look back at week 1 when they lost to the New England Patriots in a game that they shouldn't have lost.
Holy fuck.
That would change the draft position for the Patriots immensely.
Yeah.
And that would also put the Bengals into playoffs.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where you can blame small things. Didn't they lose to
the Raiders? No, they didn't. No, it was the Ravens.
You can just blame small things like that if you want to for the Bengals. Let's not try to put ourselves in situations where we need other teams 100%. To do this. The big thing for the Chiefs, as much as I was rooting for Joe Burrow and the Bengals to get in the playoffs, shout out Triple Crown winner, Jamar Chase.
Unbelievable.
Don't think he gives a shit about that.
And you're not going to get an award.
Unbelievable season. 17 touchdowns, 1,700 yards.
You've heard me talk about ad nauseum when we talk about betting games, especially nowadays, where I talk about like the trenches, running backs, being able to run the ball. Bro, and defense, obviously. Like defense with the Bengals, defense, obviously. Bro, the Bengals had a sack leader, a Triple Crown winner, yards and passing touchdown leader. Any other season when we're not 8 and whatever the fuck, MVP winner. Also, they had T. Higgins. And we didn't make the playoffs. That is fucking disgusting. A Triple Crown winner, passing touchdown leader, passing yard leader, sack leader, and you didn't make the playoffs. Like, I think obviously the defense was way better when they made the Super Bowl, but just being able to beat Joe Burrow and be as successful as he was with this team, knowing all the holes they've had over the years, shout out to Joe, man. I understand you're standing fully after this year.
But this is why, if you are the Chiefs in that situation, why would we even try to win that game? Because then that means we would potentially see the Bengals in the playoffs.
No, you don't want to play them. No,
absolutely.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, there's no chance that we're even trying to beat the Broncos in this game. Because then that means the Bengals get in.
Yeah.
Because the Dolphins lost.
Yeah.
So the Bengals would have gotten in.
Yeah.
So that's something that I guess. I mean, I didn't have Bengals to get into the playoffs. I didn't have Chiefs money line or anything like that. But if looking back on it, why would the Chiefs even try to win that game? Because then that would mean they would be the reason why
back to Burrowhead's
in the
but
playoffs.
Like that shit, you know what I mean?
The college football playoff semifinal is here.
Oh boy.
Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas. Some reports.
What a lineup, you know?
Some reports from Adam Schefter as of Monday that Steve Sarkisian's name is flying around.
No. I know what Sark doing. That's my guy. I know exactly what Sark doing. Chestnut checkers, motherfuckers. I'm trying to get this raised. We back. The Longhorns, to whatever y'all do. Texas is back and shit. I'm trying to get this raised. So
that might do it.
The Patriots is interested in me. The Jaguars is interested in me. He getting that raise. That's what he's doing, I think. He getting that raise. Shout out to my
especially if they win that game, too.
Yeah. He trying to get that raise. We won the SEC. Oh, no, we didn't. Fuck, man. God damn it. Man, if he had that, he definitely get that raise. But yeah,
Penn State, Notre Dame, Thursday, 7:30. It's a 1.5 point spread favored to Notre Dame, and Penn State on the money line is plus money at plus 110. I'm looking at Notre Dame heavily because I've been standing behind them for this playoff, and even bigger too. This is the best defense remaining.
Yes.
And I would say in this college football playoff,
yes,
this defense is so fun to watch. Not
remaining. No, not remaining.
You're going to say Ohio State?
Yeah.
I still am going to put it on Notre Dame.
Yeah. That Ohio State defense, bro. Yeah. But yeah, I see what you're saying. 100%.
Doing what they were able to do against Georgia, I understand it was Gunnar Stockton. I think just a brief second to talk about the game just for 1 second. Gunnar played a very, very good game, in my opinion.
200 yards, a couple big drops. Absolutely. Settled in nicely.
You want to go quarterback for quarterback? Outplayed Riley Leonard. Yes, with the legs.
Yeah, that's where that game, when I look at, like, when you're looking at this Notre Dame Penn State game and you look back at the Notre Dame Georgia game, I said it last week at nauseum. That game was legit lost in 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, legit 30 seconds. But, yes, I do agree. Gunnar Stockton probably did look a little better. But Riley didn't have to do that much. You would get the ball on the 10-yard line before half. I had to throw it. You know what I mean? And then it's Notre Dame football. When Notre Dame's ahead, we know what they want to do. We saw it versus Indiana. So, he does get a little bit of grace from me. And I actually am really impressed with how he uses his legs. But, yes, Gunnar Stockton did outplay him.
You put James Franklin in a very tough
Don't you
situation.
Feel like this is two teams that are just looking at each other that are like, am I looking at my twin? Like, are we doing the same shit? Oh shit! Like this is why I love this matchup so much, because we get the Love and Rose duo, Allen and Singleton duo. I think both teams, as far as explosive plays from the wide receiver standpoint, a little lesser. We'll get to the Tyler Warren thing, but Tyler Warren I think is a huge X factor in this game. And then you get the Notre Dame defense, who I think, like you said, I would say maybe the second best. Yeah, Texas could be the two, but you probably put them over Texas. I'm so excited because you know how I watch their matchups. Tyler Warren versus my boy Abdul and Xavier Watts, who I think Xavier Watts is probably a second, third round draft pick this year. How they match up with Tyler Warren's going to be massive. Also, Drew Allar has worked his way into first round projected talks if he came out this year. Now, I've been on this Drew Allar agenda for a long time, and I've had people tell me I'm an idiot for a long time. Thank God it's coming to fruition. One thing that he hasn't had to show up for him in the playoffs is a little bit of the reckless, a little bit of the turnover problem, can make some dumb throws when it happens. If there's any team that can make you make dumb throws when it matters, on second and got to have it, third and got to have it, it's Notre Dame. And I'm wondering, the way you look at this game, what quarterback do you trust more not to win you the game, but not lose it? You know what I'm saying? Because watching Riley Leonard operate versus that Georgia defense, I think he can win you a game. I was big on Riley Leonard this whole time. I am also really big on his ability not to lose you a game, especially with his ability with the legs. One thing to watch, expand on the point, I'll pass it to you. Abdul Carter, upper body injury. I think he's going to play. It's Abdul Carter. The best player, I think, remaining in the college football playoff, maybe besides Jeremiah. That's a debate you could have. But Abdul Carter is a top 5 draft pick, so we could just say for that what it is. Him in the pass rush, and then him maybe in some situations, you've seen it sometimes with teams where they don't, TJ Watt will do it. Wild kind of muddle rush to keep my eye on Lamar. I think that matchup with him and Riley Leonard is going to be something to watch heavily. I think he could have it. What he can do versus Riley Leonard, the rest of that D-line is insane. But if they can neutralize Riley Leonard's legs, I think it gets scary because then we could see, can Riley Leonard lose you a game? You know what I'm saying? There's a couple things that's interesting about the game for me.
We get a warmer climate in this game, too. We're
Where's
down
the
at
game
the
at?
Hard Rock in Miami. So that'll be fun.
Fun
to watch, too. And I'm looking at who can force the most amount of turnovers, but not just that.
Yes.
What team can capitalize better on those turnovers? Mm-hmm. We know that these are two good defenses. We know that Notre Dame, I would give the edge to Notre Dame on defense, but
close.
It's very close.
Yeah.
When there is, because the turnovers are going to come somehow, some way. They're going to come.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, are we going 3 and out the next possession?
Yeah.
And just by looking at the total in this game at 45.5, I
think it's a wee bit high.
Based on the two defenses that we're just talking about,
it's a wee bit high.
I would be leaning towards the under in this game. But in a playoff game, I probably, just how I bet, I wouldn't bet on an over-under this game. If anything, I would take the over. In a playoff game, in a semifinal game, I don't want to be rooting for an under. Yeah,
that's also true. Maybe a little teaser action or something. But, yeah, that's probably the only way I would take the under there. I just so when I get to the pick a little bit more, right? Because I'm leaning heavy Penn State. I'm obviously a Penn State fan, but I'm leaning heavy Penn State, and I really think Tyler Warren's gonna be the X factor.
He has been.
Yeah, I think he's really, really gonna be the X factor. I also think this might be the first game where Notre Dame really feels the loss of Riley Willis. I think being able to get that pressure up the middle on a guy like Drew Allar would be huge. I've said he's gotten better at ad-libbing, but when he does leave that pocket, that's when you see a little bit of the reckless throws come out. I think that's a massive part, and I think that Abdul Carter could wreck this game. I think it's going to be really close and cagey, though. One thing that if you're a Notre Dame backer, what I'd be looking at is aren't we way more battle-tested than Penn State? Especially in the playoff setting. Indiana, you can say what you want about Indiana, but it's an 11-win team. Had some big games, had some big matchups. They looked great versus them. Then obviously you have the Georgia win. Could say they don't have the starting quarterback. They also still look great versus them. Penn State, we talked about it. Could have been down 14-7, 17-7 to SMU. Home crowd, shit like that's going on, turnovers. Okay, you get the job done. That Boise State game was 17-14. There was a point where it was I didn't think the Penn State was ever going to lose that game, but there was a point where it got in the back of your mind, this is getting a little too close for comfort. So as much as I as a Penn State backer, just talking to people who are Notre Dame fans, Notre Dame teams, how much are you looking at this game where it's okay, on paper you might say this Penn State team matches up better, could be better. But when we talk about teams like Ohio State, and Ohio State's just a juggernaut team, but when we get into the playoffs, we get some big wins under our belt, we get hot. Penn State breaking away late versus Boise was a nice statement, but there's enough on that film versus that Boise game and that SMU game where I think Notre Dame could find some holes where I'm not shocked if you decide to back Notre Dame here.
In my decision for this game, I feel like I could have been kind of swayed in the direction of Penn State. Mm-hmm. This is not even me being a Penn State hater because there's a shitload of Penn State haters out there. Mm-hmm. And Notre Dame haters.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Let's just call it out.
What's so beautiful about college sports? I think people are getting on the Penn State bandwagon because they're like, who do I hate the least out of these 4 teams? And it's I don't really like Penn State, but at least I hate them less than Ohio State and Notre Dame, so fuck it.
And then, based on the two haters, I don't really feed into any of that bullshit, I
Right.
could give a rat's
Absolutely.
ass on
100%.
the hate on both
I
sides.
like seeing the Blue Bloods in power.
I think this is you said it best after the quarterfinals. I think the best 4 teams made it and got here and deserve to be here. We understand all of that. With that being said, who do I think is going to be hoisting the trophy with all the oranges kind of falling outside of it? And that's going to be Notre Dame.
Wow.
I have continued to stand behind them, and I can't fade them now. And
you know what the sentiment I keep seeing is? Something like, I've seen a lot of people say this, where like Penn State's this, they have that, they might be better. But something just tells me that Notre Dame's going to find a way. They have a real nice find a way identity too to them. Hella good DBs, great D-line. Right, Leonard can get done with his legs. Love and fucking Rose in the backfield. Like, they have a real... And then you see guys like Faison making big plays now in the playoffs when you need them. They do have, like, that get it done. It's not going to be pretty. Marcus Freeman...
I was just going to say, talk about Marcus Freeman. I mean, Marcus Freeman is such a likable guy.
Love him, bro.
Such a likable coach. Does things the right way. How they should be done. How, again, I said it in the quarterfinal game. How could you not want to back Notre Dame? With the excitement that Marcus Freeman brings, how he's igniting this team, especially after the tragic events in New Orleans, and bringing the team to kind of together for mass and getting everybody to understand the situation at hand outside of the game that we have tonight. I just think that Marcus Freeman is the guy for the job, and you want to go coach for coach, player for player, this, that, and the other. You want James Franklin or you want Marcus Freeman? I want Marcus Freeman. I'm taking Notre Dame.
See, I kind of like, and it's because I think in that way, like I kind of agree with what your logic is. Maybe it's because I'm a Penn State fan. It just feels like the situation for me where people always say James Franklin can't win the big game. What big game are we talking about? Are we talking about the Ohio State Penn State game? Are we talking about the Big Ten championship when everyone in the nation said this Penn State team looked way better than I thought? Even in the Ohio State game, Penn State didn't score an offensive touchdown, and I guarantee you everyone watching that game besides Ohio State fans were like, wait a second, I thought Penn State should have won that motherfucker. What the hell? I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I think people harp on the point of some of the big games that James Franklin has lost, and I think there's just anything personal for him to get over the hump. This could be the game for it. Now, obviously, players go play the game. So, I mean, you can be all motivated and all the shit you want to be. How much of a revelation would this be for both these teams to win the game? I mean, Penn State back in the Natty, Notre Dame back in the Natty. I'm going to go with Penn State, though. I really think you're going to see the slight edges that Penn State has over Notre Dame in this game and the ability that they can have to neutralize Riley Leonard. I think Penn State also has really, really, I mean, not that Georgia didn't, because, I mean, Riley Leonard still threw for 80 yards, but they have really, really athletic, fast, lengthy linebackers. And their linebacker coach is Dan Connor. So if anybody's going to have a scheme to try to contain Riley Leonard, I kind of trust my boy Dan C. Low-key underrated part of their coaching staff over there. Low-key underrated part of their coach staff on Notre Dame. Al motherfucking Golden. Legend. DC for Notre Dame. What plan is he going to have for Tyler Warren, which is going to be really interesting to watch? I'm still going back Penn State. But this game, to me, is blockbuster. So interesting. Spider-Man meme. Same styles looking at each other. And for real, who's going to fold first? Your logic of the turnover thing is Matt. Because, I mean, you could say the Georgia game was lost on a turnover. What if the left tackle doesn't get beat one-on-one? Gunnar Stockton can make a couple throws. We go down. We don't score 7. We just get a field goal. Kick it to Notre Dame. They look like they had Notre Dame in decent raps. Maybe not a 3-and-out, maybe a first down. Then they get a turn. Then they get a stop. We get the ball back. I think then at that point Georgia would be down by 1. Whole different ball game. I trust Penn State more in those moments with Drew Allar and just their team in general than I did in Georgia in those moments, and that's going to be a big thing. I think that's where the game's going to be won.
Even just from the pressure though that Notre Dame was able to get on Gunnar Stockton.
All game.
A very tough spot for him to come in on. First game to start. You got to do it in this stage, in this game, in this moment. But they forced him into uncomfortable situations. And we talk a lot about that, and so does everybody talking about these games with Will Howard. Mm-hmm. When you force him into uncomfortable situations where he's not able to get his feet set, have some time to make some reads down the field, and then make his throw, that's how it beats you. But if you have to make him maybe roll out of the pocket, even if it's 2 to 3 steps, that's when the inconsistency comes with his accuracy in his throws. I can see that happening with Drew Allar if you just put him in a spot where he's not comfortable. And we say that that's the most, I guess, basic thing to say.
No, it's true.
But statistically, and when you're watching these guys in those uncomfortable spots, again, we have to remember these guys are still young kids playing this game.
Absolutely.
And they are much more prone to what they are used to, being consistent in their throws by having their feet set, being able to make my first read, make my second read, I'll give it to the third, or I'll go back to my first read when he beats him on the double move in the go route. In that situation, if the same amount of pressure that was put on Gunnar Stockton can come to Drew Allar, it's only going to fire up the defense, and it's going to give Riley Leonard the confidence I'm taking Notre Dame.
Listen, go Lions. I'm on Penn State, but I am so interested actually to see the plan that Al Golden and former linebacker Marcus Freeman have for this Penn State team and Tyler Warren and Drew Allar, because it's going to be hella interesting. But go motherfucking Lions. You know what I mean?
We head to the Cotton Bowl at AT&T Stadium. This is going to be funny because Texas gets to play in Texas.
Absolutely.
And Cowboys, you don't have a playoff game, so I guess you can just say that this is your playoff game.
Yeah. But there's a lot of state fans or Ohio State fans across the nation, definitely in a high concentrated area like Dallas. I saw some people saying like it's gonna be a 70-30 split in the stands. First of all, them motherfuckers travel.
Did we not see the Rose Bowl?
Them boys travel. First and foremost, and second of all, Ohio State has one of them fan bases. I ain't gonna call y'all bandwagons, but they have one of them fan bases where they cross the country, so they gonna be down there.
I think this game in the Cotton Bowl is gonna be a little bit easier to make a decision for me. You have this spread here at Ohio State, -5.5, and
shit.
Sark and the Longhorns are +190 with the over-under sitting at 53.5. Now, in their big blowout against Tennessee, no, we're talking about Texas. In their so-called blowout against Clemson, let's remember they were winning the majority of the game. Clemson made it a game towards the end, but it was a blowout up until the end of the game.
Absolutely.
We were talking a lot about the run game, and when Texas doesn't have a big run game, they fall into holes and inconsistency where they were not scoring in that Clemson game, and they were not scoring for a moment, but they still did have 238 rushing yards.
No, but you hint on such a fucking good point when it comes to Texas, because the same laps happened in the Arizona State game.
And there was not a lot of running.
Absolutely.
And when there's not a lot of running game, they struggle. And in an Ohio State defense, if you can find a way to contain Wisner, contain Blue, make Quinn Ewers have to beat you, that's where you can win this game. And we saw, if you looked at that Arizona State game, it might have been 2.5 quarters that Texas did not get in the end zone.
Yeah.
If that
and then our initial OT offense did not look great, bro. It was 4th and 13. Let's not forget.
If that consistency with the run game happens for Texas, they will win this game. But if we talk about that Ohio State defense, if Sawyer and the boys can contain these two backs, Ohio State may win this by 2 touchdowns.
And then, like, JTT and Sawyer getting after Quinn. What? Dylan Gabriel got sacked 8 times. And, like, here's kind of my point. There was a lot of that was JTT and Sawyer winning. But as much as I talked about the Ohio State DBs, how many times did you feel like there was somebody open on Oregon watching Dylan Gabriel in the pot? It looked like every time he dropped back to pass, he could not find a single person winning on the outside. Now, a lot of that had to be they went down early so we can drop back. Ohio State plays a 4-2-5 anyway, so they have 5 DBs no matter what when they're in base. So when you go up by 14, we can motherfucker have 6 out there, 7, like no problem. Plus, we got Caleb Downs that can come down, Ransom that can come down. I'm obsessed with this Ohio State defense. It's going to be so interesting to watch. I really think Matthew Golden, Bond, and then the young bull's name. God damn it. 5-star freshman from Texas. I got the name right here in my notes. If he can come out and have a big game, Ryan Wingo. Because he was supposed to be kind of Xavier Worthy-esque, big play. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm high on Matthew Golden watching him in the playoffs. I think Isaiah Bond's underperforming this year, but I think he can come up in a big spot. And if they can get a couple big plays to Ryan Wingo, they could make it interesting. But can you actually win versus these Ohio State corners? We're watching a defense that legit. If Caleb Downs was a sophomore or junior, we would see 11, I swear, 11 draft picks. Like, I think that defense is that fucking good. I do think, though, there's some factors here with Quinn, with Sark. We've never, well, I'm not going to say never, but this year, oftentimes, we haven't seen them, and Texas fans will say they haven't seen it once, where they have to push the chips into the middle, go all in. You know what I'm saying? And based off what we were talking about with the Clemson game, with the Arizona State game, and then some of those other games I brought up earlier in the season when they were double-digit favorites and there was points in the game where they had leads, I'm not really saying the team is necessarily built to play from behind because that's a remedial way to build a team. But this team, to me, with Sark at the helm, is way more scary to play in a situation where they're in a game where they have to keep scoring, where they can't take the foot off the gas. I think a lot of these problems with the lapses that we see is Texas is a team that are in a lot of games where they can afford to take the foot off the gas. When you play Ohio State, it's going to remind a lot of people of that Alabama, Clemson. Only reason why this game remembers because the first game I bet on was that college football national championship when Alabama played Clemson and Alabama had to do that onside kick in the fourth quarter because Nick Saban knew, like, I ain't stopping this Clemson offense no time soon, no matter how good I think my defense is. And it sounds crazy, but I think Sark in that situation is cooking. I really do. And I think Quinn, people can say what you want about Quinn. He's not unbelievable. And obviously, coming out of high school, everyone thought he was going to be one of the best, whatever, ever. We kind of stopped doing that with high school guys. But he makes throws, man. Like, to make that 4-13 throw, it takes nuts. To make that inside leverage wheel route throw perfectly in line with your tight end on the inside, that takes nuts. I think he could. He transferred from Ohio State or from Ohio, some shit like that, right, Quinn? Yours, you know what I'm saying?
From Ohio
you
State.
Playing with nothing to lose. You feel me? I'm not. I have a weird feel. I'm not making my pick it, but I have a weird feeling that Ohio State wins and Texas covers. You know what I'm saying? Just a weird feeling. And I also wanted to shout out Ohio State being the best defense. I just found this out today. I knew Jim Knowles was the defensive coordinator. I did not know Jim Knowles was from Philly. Went to St. Joe's Prep. But at St. Joe's Prep coach spree, we got Jim Knowles, one of the best defense in college football, probably about to win a Natty. We got Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year. Shout out to St. Joe's Prep. Obviously, you guys have Marvin Harrison over there and shit. Shout out to my boy Jim Knowles. I want to see the plan you have.
DeAndre Swift, by the way.
DeAndre Swift as well. I mean, St. Joe's Prep, they've been up. You know what I'm saying? But the thing I want to, like, Texas having to play a game where they have to keep up scoring. I don't know if I want to write them off too much, bro. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Let's also set the tone, too. Remember, in the first play of the game in the Rose Bowl, deep ball, sideline ball, Jeremiah Smith set the tone early.
Yeah.
You already put Dan Lanning like, whoa, that's how they're going to attack this game?
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to just hand the ball off, kind of start to work our way up the field. We chunk play, explosive play, first play of the game. If something like that can set the tone early, I'm not saying it has to be the first play. There's a big play in the first drive. Something that starts the momentum. It's like a spark. And then the defense is fired up. Come out, we get a 3-and-out. Or we get maybe a 2 first downs and we get them off the field. Something like that where there's some momentum early on Ohio State. I can't sit there and say that Texas will be able to come back in that game. My pick in this game is Ohio State minus 5.5. And if it sounds like it's public, it may be. I feel
very,
like
very, very public.
Everybody's going to be doing it because that's what they're seeing. I'm doing this because of Ohio State and how they look with their weapons, and I don't think that Texas is going to be able to stop the weapons that Ohio State has.
Yeah, I mean, it's an extremely valid point. The only thing kind of keeping my hopes up when you brought up Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka, which, sorry, Emeka, that you play with Jeremiah Smith, but you are fucking incredible too, my boy. Probably had to, I mean, did he have the catch of the game? Did Jeremiah Smith on the sideline between 3 people, or did Emeka Egbuka between 2 people, 1 hand? I don't know. Y'all be the judge of that. But a point that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, Jahdae Barron, Jim Thorpe Award winner. You don't want him following Jeremiah Smith, but can he lock down a side of the field, whether it's Emeka or Jeremiah Smith, to where we could do the Pittsburgh Steelers Jamar Chase strategy, where we have Joey Porter locked down the side of the field, usually following T. Then we could send shade over to Jamar Chase. We can send an extra linebacker to go in the hook curl on Jamar Chase's side. I'm actually because Oregon's DBs were good. They don't have a DB as good as Jahdae Barron. Can that come into play and neutralize them a little bit? I don't know. The motherfuckers is hot, man. I do also think, though, that Texas, they got to move. Shout out to the Ohio State O-line. because we got to get Will Howard off base. We saw Will Howard when he's sitting in that pocket sitting pretty. I mean, he could throw it with anybody. We got to get that motherfucker off base. The line went up to 6. I seen 87% of the public on Ohio State on FanDuel. Dropped back down immediately to 5.5. I think a lot of big money bettors are thinking what I'm thinking. Steve Sarkisian playing with house money, having been in this position. Not a position where we have to play conservative football, in a position where we have to let our nuts hang. We're underdogs by 6 points. I like Ohio State to win. I don't like Ohio State to cover. I don't know if I'm going to get to the window, though. I might tease it. Something that looks nasty to me right now is 6.5 point teaser. Let me get Ohio State or Penn State up to 7.5 or 8, and then let me get Texas up. Might be the teaser I play, but that's where I'm at right now. I think Ohio State wins, but doesn't cover. We might get we haven't, like, how many, what would you say? What's the best game of the college? Oh, Arizona State game. Okay, so we got one classic. I mean, that was an actual certified fucking classic. So we did get one classic. I think out of these 2 games, we might see some classics.
Back to back?
I'm calling it. I think we see 2 incredible fucking games, and we need it. And I think both dogs cover.
Which kicks off the immense football week that we have. And after these games on Thursday and Friday, heads into...
Wait. Can we look at that hypothetical? We don't got to break it down. I just want to see what they're saying.
If we're just taking a quick glance at the hypothetical,
7.5. 7.5.
Ohio State would be 7.5 point favorites against Notre Dame and Penn State, and Texas would be 2.5 point favorites versus Notre Dame and Penn State.
What do you? I mean, God, we can keep it pushing. That's.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Your Natty chip odds.
Penn State money line.
Ohio State minus 120, Notre Dame
That's
plus
insane.
410, Texas plus 450, Penn State plus 500.
All right, okay. So I didn't know it was still 500. I'll tell you guys right now. I'm putting in a parlay. Penn State to win the Natty and Eagles to win the chip. Have to. I don't know how that's still 5-1. That is asinine. And I think the Eagles are around 7-1. How is Penn State still 5-1?
7-1.
I've been saying that for Penn State since it started. 5-1 is an insane price. I can still get it. 7-1 for the Birds is an insane price. Did y'all not see Sam Darnold out that motherfucker? God, yeah, I'm putting that shit in. I'll probably be plus around 1,000 or something like that. I'm putting that shit in.
Wild card weekend.
Let's get into it.
Kicks off after the college football semifinals.
Let's get into it.
With the first game on the slate.
Let's have an amicable bracket challenge. You know what I'm saying? Don't put no crazy shit on me, bro.
Yeah, bracket challenge. Starting at 4:30 on Saturday, the Chargers visiting the Texans as 2.5 point favorites. And here is our bracket challenge for the NFL playoffs. We are going to pick every single game until we get to the Super Bowl. We're picking our winner. We didn't do this for college football, so we're going to do it for NFL. And that all starts with the Chargers and the Texans. Very simple for me. I'm going to take the Chargers money line here, that they're going to advance. And in terms of betting, because this is a betting show, Chargers minus 2.5.
Yeah, pouring one out for Texas fans. I think they've, in like their last, I want to say 6-7 wildcard matchups, they legit have been this Saturday 3:30 game. Can we get these motherfuckers? Like, I fuck with the Texans, you know what I mean? Houston Stadium, all that shit. They got some vibes in there. Can we get one night game? But yeah, I do have, I got Chargers here. I think JK being back the last 2 weeks really, really helps them a lot. I also think since the Tank Dell injury, I mean, Texans were already on the ropes, but I think they're on the ropes even heavier. We'll see y'all next season. I'm on the Chargers. I don't know if I'm going to bet the Chargers, but I would bet the minus 2.5. The whole public's on them, so it's a little scary. But I got the Chargers win this game as well. Yep, easy for me.
The night game on Saturday.
Also, sorry. No order. Pat, Lamar, Josh, Joe. And then can we stop playing? Justin Herbert, can we stop playing?
All right.
All right, cool.
I'll give it to you.
Just want to get that back.
As long as Joe's above.
Oh, he in there. Yeah, he in there. But yeah, I think Justin go. We gonna be doing this podcast for a while. I think when we do this podcast, we might see that playoff matchup, and it can get scarier here. Blood will be on the floor.
Saturday night, the divisional matchup. The Ravens host the Steelers in a game that we did see. It was the same night as Texas was taking on Clemson. Baltimore Ravens 9.5 point favorites, hosting the Steelers. That's Saturday night at 8:00. How can you not? It's the Ravens. 9.5 scares the shit out of me in a playoff game.
Right?
I don't know if I can do it. I really don't know if I can do it.
Right?
I don't even care if it does happen. I can't touch it. I don't even know what the bet is in this game. Obviously props, but 9.5 points in a fucking playoff game. I don't care that the Ravens may just roll, but 9.5 points in a playoff game is fucking insane. I'm taking the Ravens to advance.
The Steelers, besides that, thank God for Boz cover in the last game. They had a chance to not cover or win the last 4 games, period. Steelers haven't covered or won their last 4 playoff games, period. You had that theory when they cover. Why does that theme reoccur in the playoffs? Now, for some reason, like maybe it's just fool's gold, right? Because how the fuck could I bet on Mr. Unlimited again? Like, how can I do it? They look like him and George Pickens like they're completely out of sync. Pat Fryer was dropping big balls across the middle at the end of games. I'm going to say the Ravens win so we can get advanced in the bracket.
Right.
I would just, I think I like the Steelers too much. I can't bet the Ravens, bro. But if the Ravens do win, I don't know what I'm going to do on Saturday. But goddamn, Mr. Unlimited might have you one more fucking time, and I don't know why. But yeah, the Ravens do win.
Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, he thought he had a limited time on the fucking clock when he ran for it on the right side and didn't go out of bounds. My fucking unlimited. But yeah, I like Ravens roll. Probably.
Last AFC game, that is Sunday at 1 o'clock. Bills Mafia hosting Bo Nix and the Broncos. Bills are 8.5 point favorites. I got to just say.
Now, can we slow down? Ain't this a little high?
I think it's a
It
little
got
high.
bet up.
I definitely think it's a little high.
It still got bet up.
I'm a little scared that Bo Nix is not ready for Bills Mafia. Orchard Park in a playoff game.
That boy done played in some stadiums now. He Iron Bowl tested.
He is Iron Bowl.
You know what I'm saying? That boy done played in some stadiums now.
This spread is scaring the shit out of me. I think the Bills advance for bracket purposes. For the spread at 8.5, there's a weird feeling in my body that the Broncos can cover 8.5 points.
Yeah, this is a big. I was praying like before we got on this pod. I knew you weren't going to do it because you're never gonna. You know what I mean? You're not going to do that to Josh, and I hate that I'm even like thinking about this with Josh. Because I think some people that like listen to the show, I was looking at the comments on the MVP thing. Did everyone that was commenting on that video not hear how hard I was glazing Josh while we were doing that, by the way? Like, okay. Anyway. I'm like, why am I scared? Why? Why am I really wanting to bet the Broncos to cover? But why do I think that they could win this game?
I don't think they can win this game. I think they can cover 8.5.
Surtain's going to lock down a side of that field.
It's Josh Allen.
Nick Benito might have something to say about that in the containing game. Now, Josh is insane. Hasn't seemed like anyone can contain him. But Benito's over there, young, juicy, pause, no playoff experience, head could be big, doesn't know the moment he's in. Who knows, motherfucker? That's all I'm saying. Who knows? And then, obviously, it was the backups. Even in the Bengals game, Bo Nix don't give a fuck right now. He's spinning that thing. I might have to take the Hawk Tua. He's spinning that thing, boy. Like, I don't know if I want to see Sean Payton right now. I don't know if I want to see Bo in them right now, which sounds insane. Now, I'm going to go with you for the sake of the bracket. The Bills will move on. Now, I think this might be one of them games where people are like, the 1 o'clock game. We going to come over for the Eagles game. I'm going to cook for the Eagles game. I mean, we're not going to watch this game. Then you look up, and it's 23-20 in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix got the ball on the 40-yard line, 4th and 2. I think it might go like that, and I think you might see remember the Josh Allen play on 4th down versus the Chiefs where, like, I came on the show, and I was like, yeah, see, that's his MVP moment. Like, that's where he gets it right there. I think you're going to get another Josh Allen moment like that in a close game. I got the Bills in a nail-biter.
Sunday at 4:30 kicks off the NFC part of the bracket.
All right, but you did say there was 2 games we could disagree on.
It's not this one.
I was going to say, I swear.
It's not this one.
Right hand on the Bible.
It's not this one.
Don't do me like this,
not
bro.
Not doing it. Christian Watson, unfortunately, tears his ACL and is done for the season for the Green Bay Packers.
That is so big.
The Philadelphia Eagles are 4.5 point favorites at the Link at home against Jordan Love and the Packers. And on this side of the bracket for the NFC, I do have the Eagles advancing. I am a Giants fan. I am an Eagles hater. But this roster is too star-studded to lose in the first round of the playoffs. Eagles will advance.
Yeah. I do want to highlight, got some dream matchups in the first round, just teams I like. Got the Ravens versus Steelers. Got Bo versus Josh. And then we get LaFleur coming to Philly. Sorry, Matt. I think the C-Dub injury is massive. I think his ability to be able to stretch the field on either Quinyon or Slay would have been fucking massive. I was a little scared before just the possibility of the matchup going before, obviously Jordan Love gets banged up as well. Before all that happened, we watched LaFleur work some devil magic last year in Jerry's world. Now, they were way more healthy than that, but LaFleur could work some devil magic. I don't think it comes here. I think everyone resting. I think people were worried about, we're resting. Jalen Hurts hasn't played since the concussion. I think we're fine. I do think we roll here. I might get a little scary and alt spread it. I think I might do 4.5, 7.5, 10.5. I think the Eagles win like 31-20. You know what I'm saying? 28-17. That's kind of my script. Go Birds. I'm sorry, Pack. I think hopefully y'all tell I really fuck with y'all. And anyone saying fire Matt LaFleur, like just transfer to hockey or some shit, bro. Please, like stop. Just stop, bro. Please just stop that. That is insane. But yeah, let's move on.
Moving on to the Sunday night game. That is Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and the Buccaneers who won the division. They are 3-point favorites hosting Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Commanders are plus 148. The Commanders fans hate the living shit out of us.
I understand it now.
The Commanders fans hate the living shit out of us for our preseason prediction, which was 4-13.
But you know what? Talk y'all shit, man. Whatever. Man.
Good for you guys.
Yeah,
all right.
Good
for you guys.
My
shit. Fucking bad.
Yeah.
His bad. My bad.
Yeah, talk y'all shit.
Fuck
man.
it.
Whatever, bro.
Baker Mayfield's got your number.
Wow.
Let's go, Bucks.
Wow.
Let's go, Bucks. And I can't wait to see how sorry you're going to be when Baker Mayfield does it to you. I have the Bucks advancing. If he wants to do something different and take the Commanders, I will compromise here. So I'm going to pass it this way.
Yeah, so,
I'm getting my get back on these motherfuckers. I can
completely understand the logic. And I think you remember when we were going over games for week 1, I said a Todd Bowles-led defense versus a rookie quarterback is a disaster waiting to happen. Now, in that game, off my memory when I was prepping, I think Jaden Daniels went 17 for 24, had 182 yards, no touchdowns. Was his worst game passing by, hasn't had a game with less yards than that. And I want to argue he might not have a game with less completions than that since week 1. Now CJ Stroud last year didn't get to, well, he did get to rematch the Ravens, but the Ravens and Texans was a little bit of a mismatch. But I remember with the first game CJ Stroud played the Ravens defense, there were some question marks. CJ Stroud did still show us in that Browns matchup that he could still play playoff football at a high level, get that week 1 shot out the way. You could argue Kevin Stefanski, Myles Garrett, that's a tough task as well. You know what I'm saying? He answered that bell. He answered that bell fine. Revenge spot for the Commanders. I trust Dan Quinn here. I can't believe I'm trusting a rookie quarterback here, but I think there's something different about this team. And I honestly, if you want to rank NFC quarterbacks left, where's Jaden?
He's above Sam Darnold, I'll tell you that.
I think you go Stafford 1. I think you go Jalen 2, but I think there's a lot of people.
Where do you put Jordan Love?
I was gonna have him at the 3-4.
Okay.
Just because the year he hasn't capitalized on my agendas. He's looked good, but he hasn't capitalized on my agendas the way I want him to yet. But that's still my guy. I think you go Sam 1, Jalen 2, but people can easily throw Jaden there. What do you do after Sam or Matt and Jalen when you got Jaden, Baker,
Bake Show? Come on.
And you got Baker over Jaden?
No.
It's scary. I mean,
man, see, that's tough.
I'm just saying.
I'll put Daniels probably over Baker, which sucks to say.
And you know how I like doing the quarterback head coach thing in Masters games. I want to bet. For me, quarterback head coach, I like the Commanders. Defense gets a little spooky. One prop I want to throw out to y'all. Please just look at Bucky Irvin props. We've seen what running backs have been able to do versus the Commanders this year. And I'm pretty sure the Bucs have I forget what the exact number is, but pretty high up rankings in rushing offense. Please take a look at Jalen at Bucky Irvin props. And I said Jalen because I was about to say this too. Jalen McMillan to score. This total is like 50.5. He's plus 220 right now. Check that for me. I think he's like plus 200 to score a touchdown. In a game where the total is 50.5, it's down to plus 180 already, bro. Please look at Bucky Irvin props and look at Jalen McMillan. I like the Commanders here.
I will compromise.
I'm about to say I completely understand if you don't, because I get it, man. I get it.
We'll take the Commanders to advance. That's fine.
You down to do it?
I'm down to do it.
I think there's just a story there brewing. I think it's a nice and I have my letdown theory with the Bucks. They played like shit last week off a big win the week before that. Now they got the win. Now they were playing Spencer Rattler, and it took a lot to do that. And it went down to the wire. We had the Mike Evans story going on to get his bread. And I don't know. I've just seen this team off of big wins and important things that happen for their team take a big exhale. It's the playoffs. Baker Mayfield's been here before. Baker Mayfield won a playoff game for the fucking Cleveland Browns. So I'm not trying to discredit my man. I'm just saying the theme of the team. We've sometimes taken an exhale. I think Jaden can do it, man. I think Jaden can do it. I think Dan can do it. I'm going to go with the Commanders here.
I'll compromise here. We will take the Commanders.
Yeah.
For the sake of the bracket and move to the Monday night game with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in LA, where the Rams host the Vikings that are a 14-win team and unfortunately are the 5 seed. Rams are 1.5-point underdogs, plus 108 on the money line. And this is another one right here. Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. You will beat the Minnesota Vikings. Too many people. We just saw, hey, words out.
Shoo.
Words out on Sam Darnold.
Cat's out the bag.
Cat's out the bag on Sam Darnold. Rams are winning this game.
Oh, man.
Vikings, after a promising season, we called you fraudulent after 4 weeks of football.
Yeah.
You got us back on the train. You got exposed. And that's going to be the death of you. Rams move on. Bracket purposes. Rams advance. I'll take the money line 2 plus 108.
Yeah, let's play the quarterback head coach game. Don't play with them, especially not Stafford and McVay. See, this is like, it's weird for me. You know what I mean? I want to remember what I think that spread last year. I was all over the Rams versus the Lions. I think that spread was 3.5. And I think the Rams lost by 4. Kyron was getting banged up. Stafford had his eyes rolled back in his head in the red zone. I think there might have been some missed kicks in there. This game's hard for me, bro, because I could see a similar situation to how the Rams lost last year, where they could look better than the team that they're underdog against, but somehow, some way, that team pulls it off. I love where your head's at too much with the Rams for how much I love the Rams to not go with you in the bracket. So I'll go with you in the bracket here. I'll happily go Rams with you. But I do want to, I'm not at the window to this game, not over near close. I do want to caution my Rams backers just a little bit. It feels like a Rams spot. It feels like the Vikings should lose. They are fraudulent. They are fraudulent. And I think if anyone can take advantage of this defense after watching that film from last week, it is Matt Stafford and Sean McVay. And with I said, how many three-headed monsters would you take over Kyron, Puka, and Koopa? You know what I'm saying? If you want to add Stafford in there, make it a quartet, how many of that are you taking over them? I wouldn't say a lot. In a winner-take-all game at home, we've seen how Stafford is with the pressure on him, and we've seen what Darnold did last week with the pressure on him. I'll happily rock with you in the bracket. I'm just not to the window yet.
And then we head to the divisional round, where after these selections here, the Chargers would then head to Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
What a divisional round.
Wow. We should have already beat them in their stadium. Wow. We have JK.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It's Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, but why do I want to take the Chargers?
Oh, me too. Wow. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Nah.
I got to take the Chiefs.
Yeah. I
There's
think
just nothing to say.
But like with the voodoo magic they've been needing to get by, I would not be shocked if they dropped that. It's hard to beat a team that many times in one season, man. You know what I'm saying? I will rock with you here.
I can't do it. It's Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Can't do it.
I might have a change of heart when we go over this game next week if it happens, but I'll rock with you here. Pat Mahomes.
Still on the AFC. Lamar Jackson heads to Orchard Park to take on Josh Allen. The battle of the MVP candidates.
I'm taking Lamar every time. I'm taking
I
Lamar every
know.
time. I'm taking Lamar every
I
time.
want to take Josh.
I'm taking Lamar every time.
Okay,
bro.
all right. You just rock with me there. I'll rock with you here. I'll rock with you here.
Bro.
We will take Lamar and advance.
I just think they have a more complete team.
We will take Lamar and advance.
Especially in a playoff matchup. I want to see how James Cook is rocking with Josh in the playoffs, but this is where a lot of people's MVP arguments to me are valid. Even though I'm a Lamar guy, Ravens are just more a complete team. And I think in the playoffs it comes to show.
To the NFC side of the divisional round, the Washington Commanders will head to Ford Field against the Lions. This one's a no-brainer for me. Ford Field Lions. This is why we got the 1 seed. This is why we got 15 wins. This is why we battled through adversity with injury after injury after injury after injury. Lions are heading to the conference championship. Don't do it.
So you know what I'm going to do when I see this spread when it opens at 7 or north of 7,
Fine,
right?
you can take the spread.
I just, all of you right now, if you're on my way, please take the Commanders this week, push chips in the middle, and we say a prayer, both knees, go to confession, whatever you do, and tell that motherfucking priest, if they give me Washington Commanders plus 7 versus the Lions and Dan Gamble, I'm a sin bad, and I'm gonna push a lot of chips in the middle on the Commanders. Now I'll rock with you. They should win the game, but the Lions have struggled versus mobile quarterbacks. I think a big reason why a lot of those fourth downs stalled out and a lot of those drives stalled out for the Vikings and why they got into a lot of second longs, third longs is because Sam Darnold can't move. Jaden Daniels can move. I think this game might get scary for the Lions. I think this could be the game where Dan Gamble does the dumb shit. Commanders probably lose, but I'm going to be on them. I'll be on them to cover and win most likely if that matchup happens.
Final game of the divisional round in the NFC. That's the Rams. After their win against the fraudulent Vikings, they head to the Link to play the Eagles.
Poor guys.
Matt Stafford.
Poor guys.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith on your ass.
It's going to be cold in Philly.
Jordan Davis on butt.
We're not in a dome at
Josh
SoFi.
Sweat got some, oh, man.
They busted your ass
Zach Ball flying around.
at SoFi earlier. Saquon smoked you. It's going to be cold in Philly. The Eagles are going to the NFC Championship.
Absolutely. Yep. No brainer too easy. Yep. Let's keep pushing.
AFC Championship at Arrowhead with the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Dream in a dream.
I think we have both dream matchups here in both conferences.
Fucking dream. Because holy shit.
Lamar gets a rematch.
A playoff rematch and a regular season, my foot are too big to stay in bounds rematch. You know what I'm doing.
It's Ravens.
You know what I'm doing.
And then we head to the NFC.
Easy. Can we not? Let's not, bro. Come on, bro.
This is when I would be hating here because I would say Lions.
Don't do it, bro.
But for the sake of the Philadelphia
Aaron Glenn, please, I'm begging you. I know you like to play man all game. That's like your call. Please, I'm begging you. Please play man the whole game versus A.J. Brown and Devonta. Please, bro. Like, please. And Jalen. And the thing about, I was also saying about quarterbacks that can move. A big problem with running a man defense primarily is that when you get the quarterback that can move, your linebackers, your safeties, your corners are split downfield. Don't forget Jalen, especially Jalen in the playoffs. You're going to use some motherfucking legs. I think, especially with them injuries on the side of the lines, getting Anzalone back is so important because thank God for him. Thank God I think David Montgomery's coming back. It's going to be really nice to see.
And if the Lions make the Super Bowl, there is some optimism that Hutchinson would be back.
Oh, man. We'll see you next year, Hutch. Yeah, go Birds. Yeah, my fault, Hutch.
I will ride for you because there's a Philly fan on this show.
And what a dream Super Bowl. The Bird Bowl.
The Bird Bowl.
The Bird Bowl.
The two rushing quarterbacks.
What's up? Lamar versus Jalen?
Lamar versus Jalen.
2 times in 3 years we'll get 2 black quarterbacks face each other in the Super Bowl. Hopefully.
I know where the answer is going for this guy sitting to my right.
Do you? Now, listen. Okay.
If your team gets there, you can't pick against them.
No.
So
I'm 1,000.
we're picking the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, I'm 1,000% going to be the Eagles. I'm just going to let y'all know I don't think it's an easy decision. You know what I'm saying?
But we're still clicking it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There it is.
And you know what's funny? Y'all know them Americans games that are like the missing rings, Johns. The Eagles have a chance because I think they've been that team all year where I've been saying it for the whole year. I think they're the best team in the league. I don't think it's particularly really close, but everyone has their own, you know what I mean, things that get them off and shit like that, which is good. Everyone likes Dan Gamble. Sure, put your fucking best player Panay on reverses and have people diving at his legs. Go with me, bro. I think Nick Sirianni's dumb enough, but I don't think he Dan Gamble dumb. I think the Eagles have a funny thing to where you could make like 3 missing ring series about teams that I think the Eagles could beat in the playoffs. I don't know. I forget the reseeding and shit, but if the Eagles could meet the Vikings, that'd be disgusting. I mean, prayers. They'll make a missing rings about that 14-2 Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson team. We could beat the Lions. I mean, that might be one of the better missing ring series we see of all time with Dan Gamble, Motown being back, Barry being lit. That'd be a wild missing rings episode. And then I think the most special missing rings episode, if Lamar wins MVP again, you get MV3, finally get over the hump, beating Mahomes and them, great year. And then you run into the dirt, and then you run into the real birds. The Eagles have a chance to really play nasty spoiler here. Like, I think you're going to see a lot of memes coming out by the time we get to February of that Reaper walking down the hallway. You see all these teams that people thought were really nice. I think that's the birds, bro. And I've been saying it for a while. I think the birds are going to win the bowl, man. And I think if you are seeing 7-1, I told all you motherfuckers, when you see 7-1, just buy it. Don't ask any questions. Just buy it. And I'm telling you one more time before we get to the playoffs, just buy it. And now I'm going to tell you one other future that is crazy that I'm going to put in that you might be a little, but I am putting a Commander's future in.
I'm not.
It's like my Boise future where you just put $10 on it and you'll get $500. Yeah, because I think they could beat the Lions. I really do. And then if you get a matchup with us, rematch, what could happen? And then they already play the Ravens.
There's our bracket. Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
And the last thing I'll say too is we would get that Vikings matchup that we've been talking about if Commanders win and Vikings win.
And that
because then the Commanders go to Ford and then 2017 returns to Philly.
And it would get nasty, bro. It would be very, very. It would be like we saw.
So I would only root for that just to see that massacre happen and shut the Vikings fans up.
And it would be just like we saw last night.
All this bullshit's going to happen again.
Oh, my God.
That's the only reason I would root for that, but I'm hoping that the Rams can just watch what happened on Sunday Night Football against the Lions and expose them again.
Agreed. Now, can we end with the Jahmyr Gibbs thing? I forgot about it.
Yeah, what's up?
Would you rather edition? Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going to start. Who am I start? I'm going to start with Kyron Williams.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Josh Jacobs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay, no rebuttals there. We passed the initial test. Now let's get interesting. Bijan Robinson.
Like, this is where the tough thing comes into play, but I'm still rocking with Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm still doing it.
With what Bijan has done with complete bank robbers and quarterbacks down there, absolutely. Desmond Ridder. All right, cool.
I'd like to see.
All right, cool. No, because I don't really necessarily disagree. So, Derrick Henry.
Damn. That's tough. I mean, are we?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm taking Jahmyr Gibbs over Derrick right now. I don't give a fuck, bro.
I think I'm doing it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not, but this is where I stop the train. Saquon Barkley.
I stop it there.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I agree with everything you just said. Because I think when it comes to the Bijan argument, I think you're looking at two clones. But and I think Bijan, I don't want to disrespect him because I think Bijan and Jahmyr, I have them both on like kind of the same level. Like I might even, this might sound, I'm sorry Ravens fans, but there's some times where I'm watching Bijan where I'm taking over Derek too, bro.
Well, look at.
Like if it's just his offense, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying for Jahmyr Gibbs, look at when he's by himself. There's no David Montgomery.
I'm telling you.
He's in a similar situation where Bijan's by himself. It's his running back room.
I think we're about.
Obviously, the beginning of the year wasn't the same for Bijan, but.
I think we're about one off season and maybe at the most 2 off seasons to where the clear number 1 and number 2 running backs in the league are Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson.
You're absolutely right.
And that's just how high I am both those guys.
I like that.
Pass the test. Good job.
All right, we got to get the fuck out of here. There's the playoff bracket. There's college football.
Whew.
Fox Sports is in shambles.
Whew.
We will be keeping you up to date on that when we get some more information on that. Obviously,
Skip,
very,
man.
very tough things to talk about. We got to be
Skip.
careful, extremely careful about how we talk
Come on,
about
Skip.
these situations and the 42-page lawsuit.
Skip was horny.
With that being said, if you did watch this on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, comment. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new segments coming out from this podcast and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you did listen, make sure to drop those ratings. They do help us a long, long way. We will see you later in the week as we get further and further and closer to the semifinal and
Wait, what?
wildcard
Is this
weekend.
not the best week? Thursday, college football playoff. Friday, college football playoff. Saturday, 2 playoff games. Sunday, 3? 2 playoff games. Then
And
Monday.
Alex Sego's Manny, Ruffin, all day bets. See you in a
How
bit.
much swerve in the quarter?